So Sketcher panel will going to be a child of JPanel with a public static void main. Finish. Public Sketcher panel. So this will be the constructor of the Sketcher panel. In the main method, instead of creating a frame and then adding it to the panel and a separate class, we're going to do everything in the same place. And once we attach the panel to the frame, we will now then going to set the basic properties of the frame, like set default close operation, jframe.exit on close, Sketcher.set size. Let's say we make it 500 by 350. Sketcher.set visible, true. So just setting up the basic properties of the frame. Majority of the logic will actually go inside the constructor. We will create a property of this class called last point, and this will going to be of type point. Now point is an AWT package class. Point basically is a dot on the canvas with X and Y coordinate locations. So what we want to do is, as somebody moves their mouse on the canvas, we want to keep drawing. Okay? So on mouse pressed, we want to keep drawing the dots. So add mouse listener. You guys remember the adapter class I introduced to you in the last example? Where adapter classes have the empty methods of all the methods and you only override the ones that you need. We were going to use an adapter class in this example as well. Instead of mouse listener, new mouse adapter. And we will only going to override mouse pressed. Make sure you bring your mouse event from java.awt package. Last point equals to new point. So we are initializing, we are instantiating the last point every time you press mouse. So based on the X and the Y coordinates of the mouse, we record those X and Y coordinates of the mouse, and they become the X and the Y coordinates where the point must be drawn. Just like we add mouse listener, we will also going to add mouse motion listener. Mouse motion listener is a javax.swing event. It basically happens when you move the mouse, like mouse dragging kind of stuff, not just simply moving it around. Okay? So that is why we will now going to use new mouse motion adapter, which is another adapter class, so that we don't have to code all the methods of motion listener. Public void mouse dragged. So every time a mouse gets dragged, I'm instantiating an object of graphics type. Which is a java.awt. Remember last week we learned about graphics. It is an abstract class, so you can't instantiate its instance, but you can call getGraphics method, which will return a graphics object, and you can use that. So we're going to use this to draw a line on canvas. The coordinates of this line are following. Last point dot x, last point dot y. That's the starting point. E dot get x means wherever the mouse is moving, the line will keep stretching that far. And E dot get y. And every time the mouse gets dragged, the pixelations will change. Okay? Now, after the mouse moves to the next coordinate, I will right away change the coordinate of my last point to the new mouse position. So now the disposes method disposes of this graphics context and releases any system resources that are using it. So graphics object cannot be used after that. So it basically is for performance purpose. So now when I run this program, notice so every time I move my mouse, it draws a line. It's a very small line, and it right away shifts the last point to the current mouse pointer. So every time I move forward, my points are moving along with my mouse. Of course, you can add menu to it, which would allow you to change pen color and things of that nature. You can use Graphics 2D object and change pen stroke. So you can literally combine what we did earlier and what we are doing now and create a paint-like application out of it.